So today is Thursday, March 5th, and I'm here to give you a fishing report on Table Rock Lake. But before we get into that fishing report, got a couple quick announcements. To everyone that likes and subscribes to the channel, thank you so much. Man, you've really blessed me, and me and my family a ton. And everyone who subscribed to Coy's Picks and is getting a subscription box every month, and everyone who sends me videos and all the stuff that they caught their fish on from the baits that I recommended, and they got those baits. If you don't know what Coy's Picks is, I pick out my top 5-6 baits for the month that I've been throwing and going to continue to throw throughout that entire season, or not the season, but the entire month. I go ahead and pick those baits out for you so that you don't have to, and they're not just thrown together baits. These are baits that I work hard on out there on the water for you to get that big bite and those extra bites. So guys, thank you again. Man, I am blessed, and like I said, I got to give all the glory to God. He's the one that made all this possible for me, and I couldn't have done it on my own, not one bit. He is my sole provider on everything, and that's just what I want to say going in before we get into our fishing report. Guys, you've really got to put all your heart and all your soul into the Word of God, and just letting God take over the reins and take control. You know, I'm pretty sure we have all heard about Peter, you know, walking on water. You know, Jesus walked on water, and he called him out onto the water, and he kept his eyes on Jesus the whole time, even though the storm and the waves were just brutal, and they thought they were all going to die, you know. And what I'm trying to get is that when Peter took his eyes off Jesus, you know, he sank in the water, but Jesus grabbed him and pulled him back up. We have to keep our focus on him at all times. You know, when I'm out there fishing, sometimes I let my head get in the way, and I kind of lose focus of what he's trying to tell me and how to do things. You know, a lot of my, how can I say this? A lot of my hard times in life, you know, I've always been about me and what I've done. But since I gave my life to Christ and really read the Word every day, like I said, I keep my focus on him. As long as my focus is on him, you have victory either way. We have to look at all the pain that we go through. You know, that's a victory. You know, you're learning something from that pain. So guys, keep your focus on Jesus, because man, he has changed my life, and I hope he can change yours, and I know he will change yours. So let's get into this fishing report this week, guys. I got not a lot to cover, but I got one specific bait that you're going to need tied on this weekend. As you know, we've got a ton of rain. I think the lake has already come up like 1.5 feet, and it's probably going to continue to rise. We got some more rain coming in tomorrow afternoon. So what's that going to do? Well, generally all the fish that are out deep, they're going to kind of start pulling up to those main lake flats, main lake points, secondary points, long tapering points, and just kind of feeding on new ground and just kind of working that area, you know. And there's a lot of baits that you can use during that time, but I've got some specific baits right here that you need to have in your arsenal for this weekend. So that being said, things kind of changed through the week. Like I said, when we got the rain, and when we got the rain, you know, I'm still catching them on a Mooch Minnow. I'm still catching them on this Crushcity Mooch Minnow. I'm still catching them out deep. I'm still catching them in 40 to 50 foot of water. So you want to have one of those tied on. You want to be around bait. And what hurt me I think what hurt us last tournament for the AIAs was we were around way too much bait. We went in there a week 4 days before the tournament, and there was just some baits, you know, some blotches of bait kind of here and there, and we did great. But then the day of the tournament, we went in there and there's just wall-to-wall bait, and when it's like that, it's hard to compete with all that bait, especially when the fish is full. So that's one thing you want to pay attention to this week. You want to be around bait, but you don't want to be around a ton of bait, okay? Like I said, I would focus on this weekend more main lake, secondary, flatter tapering points. Just because the things that I found out this last couple of days. And one of the baits that I've been using through this week on some of those secondary and main lake points is a wiggle wart. Believe it or not, I've been catching some good ones in that 2 foot, 3 foot range, and I was using this bait right here. This is called Phantom Red Craw. This is a wiggle wart, okay? That's one. Here's the thing. I was throwing this in clearer water. All right, now the water is kind of dingy, right? We've got the rain, you got stuff coming in, and it's kind of making the water just a little bit more dingier, like a little bit more greenish. It's not like dirty water, but it's more got of a green tint to it. So, and what do I use when I was doing that? I changed up my wiggle wart, and I straight went to a this is a PB peanut butter and jelly crawl. Now, if you can see that, this is not translucent. All right, it's got a little bit of purple on the belly, and I've been using that one when I get into that kind of different trend of water, that kind of mixed trend of stained water. But like I said, I have one particular bait that I've been catching a lot of fish on. I take that back. Before I get to that one, let me get to this one first. I don't have it with me because I lost it, and I'm out on my back porch. My boat's down there in the shop, and I forgot to grab it, so I'm sorry. I've been using a Megabass Vision 110+1, and that is in the Table Rock color. Guys, I am not confident in throwing a jerkbait at all. It's just something that I normally don't throw. And today, when I picked up one, I caught some nice ones. Now, when I'm saying nice, about 3.5, 3 pounds. Those are nice fish to me. But like I said, I was throwing that Table Rock color in the Megabass Vision 110+1. But now let's get to the other bait that I really want to talk about, that you definitely need to have tied on, and that is this Booyah spinnerbait. This thing wrecked it. You can throw this thing, if you're not in a tournament and you just want to go out and fun fish, just go up to the bank and get that right there. This is the Booyah white silver shad. Can you see it? They sell those at Modern Outdoor Tackle, okay? All the baits I'm talking here, you can get at Modern Outdoor Tackle. They have all the stuff that I have in stock. Even if they don't have the Mooch Minnow, guys, there's other baits that work for shaking a minnow if they don't have that particular color. They'll have the shad pattern or the shad color of Mooch Minnow, but they've got storm wiggle warts. You could throw a rock crawler too. I would probably say red craw. I would go in that one in the clear water. But like I said, the PB&J was really good. But this bait right here, you better have one tied on, especially Saturday, because you got more rain coming in. They're gonna want to roam. This is 2 silver blades on there. I threw this in clear water. I threw this in dingy water, and I was catching all my fish within about 3 to 4 feet of water. They were up shallow. So you don't have to get stuck on that deep bait by chicken and minnow. I think this weekend there's going to be a lot of big bags brought in, and it's going. I still think it's going to be one out deep, but I still think it could possibly won't be one up shallow, because there are some big fish up shallow. They're pulling up. They're wanting to feed. So just get ready for that. You need to have one of those tied on. I wouldn't leave home without it. A lot of you probably throw a chatterbait. I'm pretty sure that pink chatterbait that they have probably will work really, really well. I was also throwing this in the timber in around 20 feet of water and caught several. So what you got to do is throw that thing out there in around 20-25 feet of water. Make sure you're on like a channel swing bank, stuff like that. Just kind of paralleling, coming out of the cove, and just throwing that down in there in that timber, and just sometimes they want it slow rolled, and then sometimes they just wanted to come and bomb just at a medium pace. You know, you really want to get them to trigger that action. You know, change up your speed on your spinnerbait. You just don't throw that thing out there and just wind it back, okay? If they want it slow rolled, yes, throw it out there and just slow roll it, right? But if you're fishing out over timber, over brush piles, stuff like that, you want to crank a little faster, slow it down, crank, kind of make that skirt pulsate, okay? But this today was a big key in my day. I'm going to be going out tomorrow again, and going to see what I can do, and just really key on some of that stuff. I wasn't supposed to go out today, but had a change of plans, had a trip, went out there, got it done, and then since I was already out there, I just keyed in on a good bite. So had a good trip today, and yeah, afterwards I went to work and did some stuff with that spinnerbait. So guys, I probably seem a little bit tired right now. I've been going all this week. So fishing is great. It's going to get better. Like, I think 1 out of 10, it's like at an 8 right now. And I think it's even going to get better here within the next couple of days. I think you're probably going to see this weekend a 24-pound bag. I think it's going to take at least 17 to cut a check on Saturday and Sunday. So guys, I hope this helps you this weekend. I will be fishing the OMTTs, and I will be fishing the Solo Series Top 100. Randy puts on a great tournament. Anybody who's interested in qualifying for the Solo Series Top 100, they have an SQ series that you can go to and get signed up for. I think they have like 10 spots left. I don't know. You're gonna have to get a hold of Randy on that, but I don't want to be lying to anyone. Just go check them out. So guys, good luck to all the anglers this weekend, and congratulations to Justin Garner and Jacob Wade for putting up a big bag last week on the AIA. Congratulations, guys. Those boys are some hammers, and man, they can do some great stuff. So guys, that's all I have for you this week. We will see you next week on the Table Rock Fishing Report.